watching the brat. ChesaTheBrat, yeah. Get a subscriber tab. ChesaTheBrat. ChesaTheBrat. Turn around.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, girl, hurry up. Like, I really should not have to tell y'all this every single time. When you subscribe to me, you get a fatter ass, you get a bigger bank, you get that you was plotting on.
Yeah.
Before we get started, make sure you follow me on Instagram at ChesaLaMorena. You guys need to tune into the Instagram. You guys, there's interactive stuff on there. I be letting y'all pick what story time comes next. Like, it's very, very, very imperative that you go follow me on Instagram. I'm not playing with you. Please go follow me on Instagram. ChesaLaMorena. So before I even get into this story, I want to go ahead and give you guys my subscriber shout outs for this video. You already know the drill. If you don't, now you know. I do subscriber shout outs from time to time. So we're going to go ahead and get into them. The first YouTube channel I want you guys to tune into is The Day Chronicles. I'm going to put it up on the screen. So let me scoot over. I'm going to put it up on the screen. She doesn't have any videos right now, but she will be making videos soon. And if you guys like lifestyle content and stuff like that, definitely go subscribe so you guys can be notified whenever she drops a video. I'm also going to put her Instagram right here up on the screen. The next YouTube channel is Miss JG. I'm going to put her on the screen as well and screenshot. She does story times, advice videos, and things like that. Definitely go tune in, tell her Chesa sent you. The next shout out is going to be for a nail tech located in Michigan. Her on Instagram is nailsb7 Mari. I'm going to put her on the screen as well, y'all. Her nails look super cute, super professional. If you're in Michigan, definitely go book her and tell her Chesa sent you. The next YouTube channel is Jordan, not Jordan. Her name is spelled Jordan, Jourdan, not the regular schmegular Jordan spelling. So that's her Definitely go subscribe to her channel. The next YouTube channel is XO Slushy. She has a video up of a lit taste test tasting exotic chips, and she said gone wrong. So y'all go ahead and go tune in and see what that's about. Tell her Chesa sent you. And lastly, we have Tisha. I hope I'm not saying this wrong, y'all. Tisha or Tisha? Tisha Shanice. I'm gonna put her on the screen as well. Definitely go subscribe to her. Let her know that Chesa sent you. Mwah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into this story time, y'all. It's really pointless as fuck for me to keep telling y'all every story time that, oh, this is embarrassing, y'all. Like, disclaimer, this is when I was young. Like, y'all already know the drill at this point. And if you don't, get with the program, sis.
Get with the program.
I have had so many situations where either I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did, or no, I feel like I really have a valid reason for the way that I react in most of these story times, but sometimes it could be a little OD, and this one might be one of those where it's like, should I have done that girl like that? Should I?
Yes, I should have.
Because y'all, she was dead ass wrong. I'm not even playing. So let me go ahead and give you guys the rundown. Y'all know I give you guys backstory because, again, this could either be your first video or you might have piss poor memory just like me. Well, no, I don't have piss poor memory. Let me not say that. But y'all might have piss poor memory. So I'm just going to go ahead and update you guys and let y'all know some stuff that if you're an OG, you might already know. If not, baby, I'm going to remind you. When I was in 6th grade, I went to this middle school that was in my district, right? As y'all know, every county, well, I don't know, maybe not every, but I don't know, like if you in a small town, maybe there's just one middle school for the whole city. I don't know. But in my city, in the city that I went to school in, like middle school and high school, there are multiple high schools under the same county, just in different areas of the county. You know what I'm saying? So I went to like the oldest middle school that was in the county that I lived in or whatever. And y'all, even though, like, some of y'all might know, the city I went to in high school was definitely not the hood. It wasn't the ghetto in any type of way. It was like, it was diverse, but it was like a suburban area. Like, it wasn't a terrible area, but it did border both even more of a suburban area, if you guys know what I mean. Like, it was literally like Whoville. On one side it was bordering, and then on the other side it was like, it wasn't the hood, but it was like, compared to where we were, it was the hood. You know what I'm saying? So two different sides of the city that I lived in, right? So just keep in mind, I was on the side that was more towards like diversity and towards the city that was more ghetto than Whoville on the whole other side, right? It was the oldest middle school in the area or whatever, and we were there for 1 year. Literally after the first year that we were there, they ended up transferring us when we were going to 7th grade to another middle school because, y'all, even though, like I said, we didn't live necessarily like in the ghetto, my school was ghetto. Like, our middle school was ghetto. People were piercing themselves. Like, this probably goes on in like a lot of middle schools and high schools, but like, I don't know, they was not what we was doing. Like, we was in the courtyard giving each other piercings, and people was smoking on stuff they shouldn't have been smoking at school. People was bringing like little pocket and stuff, like bringing stuff that they shouldn't bring to school. And I don't know, like I feel like they felt like transferring us to another school just would have been better. Plus that building itself was run down. Like there were roaches, baby. I'm pretty sure that people were talking about rats and stuff being in their classrooms and stuff like that. Like it just was not cute, and it really just wasn't given like the city that we were living in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was just known as like the dirty, like, school with the kids that don't know how to act, basically. So I guess they wanted to like gentrify us, or they wanted to like, I don't know, put us in a school with better students and just a better facility. I really don't know what the real tea was behind moving us to this school, but they ended up transferring us to the whole other end of that city that was towards like bordering a whole nother county and city that was very much like Whoville, like snowing in the area, if y'all get what I'm saying. It was as deep as like when we were moving, like when we were getting transferred over there, they were saying like, oh, the kids that are like, some of the parents of the kids that go to that school are taking, like pulling their kids out of the school and transferring them to another school because they heard that y'all are coming. Like they really acted like we was really like I don't know, like juveniles. Like they thought that we were coming from prison to that school or something. Like, baby, it's really not that deep. But yeah, so just keep in mind that I already had my friends from my school. I mean, like
I had a couple ops or whatever.
But I had my friends already like established from the middle school that I was already at. But obviously getting to a new school, even though it's not really my like typical environment, I was obviously going to make new friends, right? Okay. But y'all, one thing about Chesa, I do not discriminate when it comes to friends. I mean, now I like to like typically be friends with somebody that's like has same interests as me. Not even the same interests, but like we have similar interests. It just makes it easier to have a friendship, similar like values, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff is more important to me now that I'm an adult. But when I was younger, I would be friends with anybody. Like if I vibe with you, I vibe with you. You don't have to have the same interests as me. You don't gotta look the same as me. You don't gotta have the same skin as me. You don't even gotta speak my language. We can speak 2 different languages and we still gonna vibe. Like I would have been friends with the moon if the moon could talk.
This would literally be me.
Would you like to join me in singing a goodbye song to all our friends?
So that being said, y'all, I ended up meeting this girl and we're going to name her
Mary.
And the reason I'm naming her Mary is because her real name sounded very similar to Mary. And if you know me in real life, you definitely know exactly who I'm talking about just based off of that alone. But if you don't, then we're just going to call her that because that's what she looked like her name would be. Like, y'all, I promise you, I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with being a non-melanated queen. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love my non-melanated queens. If you're watching me and you're not a melanated queen, baby, you're still welcome here. No shade to you. I'm just saying, like, that's just what she was. You know what I'm saying? And there are just some non-melanated queens that
don't really like us.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all are just gonna get with the program the more the story goes on. But y'all, she looked like her name should be Mary. When I first met Mary, she wasn't one of those girls that tries to act like something that she's not. Like, she grew up in ultimate suburbia. Like, she grew up in suburbia
squared.
The bitch was literally Cindy Lou. Ooh, should I just change her name to Cindy Lou? Or Cindy Lou? Would that be ghetto to change her name already when I already gave her a name? I usually don't do that. I really don't care. I'm gonna name her Cindy Lou, y'all, because literally she grew up like Cindy Lou. I'm not saying that there's no way she could have went through anything as a child, or like, you know what I'm saying, that she had the best childhood ever just because she was Cindy Lou. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about her childhood or nothing like that. I'm just simply saying the area and the environment she grew up in is exactly how she was acting when I met her, okay? And like, one thing that I really liked about the girl when I met her, it was that she was unapologetically her. Like, she was herself. She didn't get around me and start trying to act like, you know, different or anything like that. She was just herself. I don't really remember necessarily how I met her, like the first very moment we spoke or anything like that. But I do remember when I met her and this boy that was, for the girls, that was her friend already. And I just was vibing with them. Like, I could literally get along with anybody. Anything with a mouth and that yaps, I get along with you. So I started kicking it with her sometimes at school, you know what I'm saying? We had classes together. She was on my team. It was like separated between teams and when I was in middle school. So, you know, I had classes with her and stuff. I was with her. She was funny as y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she was one of those girls that just would always have you laughing. Like, she might not have too many things that we can relate on at the end of the day, but like, we can hang out because we just gonna have each other dead. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're just gonna be laughing. And one thing about me is, if you can have me laughing, then I like to be around you. We decided to, or not decided to be friends, we kept being friends throughout 7th grade and 8th grade. And it wasn't till 8th grade, like towards the end of 8th grade, but when we was about to go into high school, that I started noticing Cindy Lou was starting to act a little funny and just a little different, but we're gonna get to that in a second. Y'all, I would go to bat for Cindy Lou. Like, I was like, some of my homegirls wasn't really messing with Cindy Lou because, I don't know, they just didn't, she just wasn't their cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how middle school bitches can be, high school bitches, when you a young bitch. Sometimes, like, people like to click up. That's just what it is. Like, I had homegirls that, you know, didn't really care to get to know her, and they weren't mean to her necessarily or nothing like that, but, like, they just wasn't vibing with her or, like, clicking with her the same way that I was. And then there were bitches that weren't my friends that would try her and stuff because, I don't know, when we got to that school, a lot of the girls from my school, it wasn't giving mean girl. Like, I don't want to portray like, oh, all the girls from my school were just mean and bullying on the little Snow Whites in the school. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But, like, some of them girls from the school that we came to were messy and, like, just doing it or whatever, and the from our school was not with it, and they was like, do you need that? Like, you know what I mean? And my friend Cindy Lou, she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't necessarily, like, too messy of a girl at first, like, when I met her. So I don't really remember if, like, when I would defend her and stuff, she would be wrong or not. I don't know. Like, that really wasn't my problem. Like, that was my girl. It's like, not too much on my girl. Like, please. Who are you talking to? Who?
Not Cindy Lou.
So, yeah. Just know that I was a good-ass friend to this bitch. I always say this, but, like, there are people that I've told y'all that I didn't treat necessarily the best, whether it be because of my BPD or because I was just a bitch. But I can acknowledge that. But the I come on here talking about, when I'm saying I was a good friend to these bitches, I mean that. Like 100%. You can't tell me I wasn't a good friend to you hoes.
You really cannot.
Towards the end of 8th grade is when Cindy Lou started morphing into her, like, I don't know, wannabe bad baby era or like, I don't know. It wasn't going as far as her trying to act like bad baby. It was more giving like Alabama Barker. Y'all know who Alabama Barker is? If y'all be on TikTok, y'all know, like, she still talks like how she always spoke, I think, but she, like, I don't know, her aesthetic is changing and stuff like that, and I don't know. Some people don't like it, some people are bothered by it. I honestly couldn't care less because it's like, that doesn't affect me, but it was giving that vibe. Like, Cindy Lou started to kind of change her aesthetic the more she started hanging out with me, and the more she started hanging out with other girls that looked like me and that acted like me. So I would be hanging out with her. I would be spending the night at her house. She would come spend the night at my house, and this girl would have me literally laying her edges. Like, she didn't have edges. No shade, y'all, because I done created edges on myself before. Like, I have edges, but I like the more dramatic edge look. Like, especially, like, when I was younger, I would create the biggest edges ever. And, you know, some girls like it, some girls don't. But I personally like the bigger edges. So I would, like, take my adult hairs and mix it with my baby hairs. And I would, you know, cut them and gel them and shit like that. And it looked good. But I had edges already. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But she wanted me to help her, like, gel her hair back with the eco style and to make swoops in her edges and stuff like that. And, you know, there's girls that'll be like,
girl, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that for you. Like, you're gonna look stupid. I'm not doing that.
But I'm not no hating ass. Like, if I know you're gonna look silly, I might not do it for you. Like, I'm not gonna let you look, like, walk around looking stupid by the hands of me. But it's like, I knew that I could make it cute. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was like, girl, that was my girl. So I was like, you know what, baby? You want it? She insisted. I was like, people might look at you funny if you do your edges. She's like, I don't give a what people look at me like. I'm like, okay.
Okay, girl, okay.
So I did her edges. I was gelling her. Y'all, I had that girl. You could slap her head and it would make this noise. Like, I had her shit
slick.
The more she changed her aesthetic, the more I was realizing it was because she started messing with this dude. Now, I'm not gonna say his real name just because I don't know. I don't like to say real names in story times in general. But I'm gonna say that his name was Marcus. Let's just name him Marcus. And you're guessing Marcus looks exactly how you guessing Marcus looks. Like, do y'all think that Marcus looked like, what's her name? What did I just name her? Y'all think Marcus looked like Cindy Lou? No, he didn't look nothing like Cindy Lou. But Cindy Lou and Marcus started messing with each other. So I think what she was doing low-key is she was trying to morph into the aesthetic that Marcus was usually, like, messing with before her. Because, you know, he went to the same school as us. He had little girls he was talking to and stuff like that before they started talking. And all of the girls he was talking to didn't look anything like Cindy Lou. So honestly, I feel kind of bad if she felt like she had to be, you know, a different aesthetic or something different than she was to, like, try to impress a boy, because I hate that for her. Like, baby, don't change yourself for no male validation. Like, y'all already know I had my phases in high school where I changed, like, my like style a little bit clothing wise. Like y'all know that one time that I was obsessed with that boy and I started drawing roses on my hands and freaking like turned alt out of nowhere, even though I was already into the alt low key. But this to me is completely different because it's like, baby girl, the aesthetic that you're trying to morph into is not like you at all. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like you're trying to mimic a whole nother type of woman that you're not. Like I don't even know how to explain that without ruffling feathers. I don't want to ruffle nobody's feathers, but y'all get what I'm saying. That what she was trying to morph into wasn't just a style of clothes. Like she was trying to act completely different than she was, and I get it. You can't really act like a certain kind of person necessarily, but it was literally cosplay. I can't say it was anything else. I saw how she was before, and then once she started dating him, she started turning into something completely different, and that's just what it is. I'm just going to clock that T because the T needs to be clocked, boo. Fast forward to 9th grade. Whenever Cindy Lou started turning into Cindy Lou 2.0, it did rub me the wrong way. Like it threw me off a little bit, but that was still my girl. Like at this point in 9th grade, I had been friends with her since 7th grade. We've been friends about 2 years, and I with her like, and on top of that, I had other friendships. She was not my best friend, so it's not like I was with her every second of the day to see her morphing more and more every single day. You get what I'm saying? Like I would hang with her sometimes, I would kick it with her sometimes, and when I kicked it with her, I would just notice little things, but it wasn't really, I didn't really give a f that much. I'm not gonna lie. It just wasn't weird yet. You know what I mean? It just wasn't weird yet. So fast forward, like I said, 9th grade, we're still friends. We're pretty good friends. I'm not gonna lie. Like we're not besties, but we're pretty close friends. We have a bunch of classes with each other still. And I ended up having like a lunch period with her, stuff like that. And I ended up having a lunch period with her even after this situation. We're gonna get to all that too. But yeah, so we're still cool. She's like, I don't know, y'all, she's turned her Sperry's into J's. She went from Birkenstocks to, what else was we wearing, to Tim's. Like she just, her aesthetic completely changed. She was wearing big hoop earrings. She was making her buns. Like we was doing these big, if I can find a picture of myself, which I probably won't be able to. I'll probably have to find, damn, a middle school picture. I probably can. She started to wear that, and I don't know, oh, I'm gonna get to that. Let me not get ahead of myself. But yeah, so she was coming to school rocking a whole nother vibe, and I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't judging her. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was still cool with the girl. I was like, ooh, bitch, I like your fucking hoop earrings. You let me borrow your hoop earrings. There was like this one day we had to have been at lunch or like a free period or something, maybe the library even, I don't even know, but she had came and she had like in her purse a bunch of things with tags on it, and she was just showing me. Y'all remember those wool headbands? Like for the girls my age, if you was in high school in like, I don't know, between 2015 and 2019, then you know from middle school where we wore these wool headbands. They were like head warmer headbands. I don't even know, but they were like wool, or they were like knitted, and they would have like a flower, like a knitted flower on it, and they were just really thick, big headbands. And y'all, I literally wore them for the sole purpose of covering my forehead. Like I used to swear my forehead was so much bigger than it is now. Like my forehead is definitely big, but I swear I grew into it or something. Or maybe it was just the fact that like little boys that probably wanted my nanny was making fun of me for my forehead. And I swear, like I used to think it was so big. Like I thought I had the largest forehead in the world. But y'all know what Thug said. He said, I swear the better bitches got the biggest foreheads. Anyways, I used to cover my forehead with that. I used to get the regular headbands, and I used to, like, if I wore a bun, my forehead was gonna get covered to at least right here. And don't think because I have a beanie on I'm trying to cover my forehead. Boo, I have a beanie on because this wig is not attached to my head. She was showing me all her headbands. She had a brown one, she had a khaki one, she had a blue one. I'm like, girl, these are cute as, where did you get these from? And she's showing me like little anklet sets, little bracelet sets. She's showing me necklaces. I'm like, girl, where did you, I see you went shopping, why you ain't take me? Like, what the fuck? And she's like,
girl, I done finesse. Like, I didn't even buy none of this, Chesa. Like, I really just got this yesterday after school.
And I was just like looking at her like, what do you mean? Like, are you trying to tell me that you had a little 5-finger discount of all this shit? And she's like,
yeah, girl, like I be going after school, I be going to the stores and stuff, and I just be window shopping for real. But if I see something I really, really want, like, I'm just gonna take it. Like,
and she's really hyping it up. And y'all, before I even continue this, for one, this whole story is just a joke for legal purposes, okay? If you're watching this and you're young, don't be doing that. Because baby, first of all, when I was probably your age, when I was, you know what I'm saying, in high school, middle school, when we was pretend 5-finger discount and stuff, baby, the cameras and the security systems were nothing like it is now, baby. AI is included in them security systems now, baby. So don't watch a Chesa video and be, oh, she was getting all that, I want all that, let me go. Don't be like me, boo, because you're gonna get got and you're gonna get put up and you're gonna be mad at me. So don't do that. I'm just like, girl, ain't no way you went in there and came up on all of this stuff. Like, she said that she did it all in one go or whatever, and she's like,
girl, I swear I do this all the time. Like, it don't even be nothing deep that I be taking or nothing like that. I swear they don't even be paying attention to me. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy.
and she was like,
I be doing it with my homegirl sometimes. Sometimes it just be me. Like, my mama takes me shopping in the plaza, and then I'll just go to other stores, and I'll come back, and she went on a shopping spree, and she don't even know I went on a shopping spree too.
and I'm just like eating it up, y'all. Like, especially back then, I don't know if I was an adrenaline junkie, but like, I know that I wasn't, for real, because when it came down to it being me, I was like real. Like, I was very scary when it came to stuff like that. Like, y'all,
I might not be scary when it comes to these hoes,
but I'm always gonna be scary when it comes to
the law. Like,
I still do not play that. I don't play that, baby. I don't. Like, I barely even speed. I don't even get speeding tickets, boo. Like, no. At the time, I am a broke high school student. Like, yes, I told you guys that I was working when I was in high school, and I was, but at the end of the day,
ain't nothing like no free shit.
like, you know, like what? Like, come on. My mom's gonna make sure I have clothes on my back, but it's like the extra clothes that I don't like need necessarily. You know what I'm saying? She was like, work for it. You want to get them long ass, ugly ass acrylic nails? Then baby, get a job. You want them $400 shoes? Oh no, J's were like what, $100, $200? No, I can get you some Keds. Like, y'all, my mama she was getting me Keds, and like, what else were they? What were we wearing, y'all? Keds was like my favorite shoes. I was wearing slip on flats and shit. Like, I was not stylish back then, but like somewhat, because I got into my style. I was wearing, you know, rocking the all white Bezos. I didn't really have too much extra spending money all the time, so I'm looking at Cindy Lou, and I'm like, girl, this sounding a little good. Like,
This sounded a little good to me right now.
so this day though, she doesn't propose I go with her, anything like that. She's just kind of telling me, showing me or whatever, and I'm kind of like clocking it in my head, but it's something that I'm just kind of like impressed by, low-key, but I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever, and I forget about it until the next day, right? So the next day roll around, or maybe a couple days later, I don't really know, but we end up talking again, and she's just like, ooh, I'm finna go like hit Target and stuff after school today. You want to come with me? And y'all, I promise y'all, maybe subconsciously, I don't know, but I do not think that I was under the impression that she was inviting me to go do things that we weren't supposed to be doing. I was under the impression she just wanted to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hung out after school before. Like, we went window shopping together before, and she wasn't doing no 5-finger discounts with me. Like, we went to the movies after school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hung with her, so it wasn't like I just knew what tea was as soon as she said that or nothing like that. Like, no. So she's just like, you want to come with me or whatever? And I'm like, girl, hell yeah, like, we can go. So, and mind y'all, this is 9th grade, right? So I definitely was not driving yet. I got my car and my license as soon as I turned 16. So I don't think that I was 16 yet though at this point. I don't know, but long story short, she invited me to go like to the plaza. There was like this pavilion that was in the city that we lived in, and she was like, you want to come with me? And I was like, yeah. We were just looking at stuff. I know that we went in like a Marshall's, we went in like Ross, I think we went in like a Payless. Like, we was just in different stores, you know, being girls, looking at clothes, looking at shoes, stuff like that. I probably even bought something. Like, we were just shopping, and we got some like frozen yogurt and stuff like that. Like, everything was cool. So I'm like, all right, like it was just, I didn't think nothing of it. It was just a regular day hanging out with my homegirl, right? So probably the next day, or maybe that Friday, that weekend, she ends up inviting me to go shopping with her again. So I'm like, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, this time I'm like, I remember what she told me that she be doing on the weekends. Like, what she be telling me she be doing at the stores. Like, this is her second time since telling me about all that, like that little spree, that little haul she gave me. This is like the second time she's asking me to come out with her. I was surprised to see how bold this girl was. Like, I don't know if I made it clear that she didn't look like me. I don't know if that had something to do with her boldness, but she was bold, y'all. It went from like, she would take little stuff like this size, like this little mirror. She was like putting it in her purse. Like, she had a big old purse. She would carry, like, y'all know them brown leather purses we used to have that were like, they were like shoulder bags, but they were like long bags. Yeah, she had one of those, and she was sliding stuff in there, and I was looking at her, and she was looking at me,
and she was looking at me, looking at her,
and she was just like y'all know that little face that y'all like, and I'm like, ooh, and she's like, ooh, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, She started to get bold. Like, we would go from one store and then we went to another store. And mind y'all, this second time that I'm telling y'all that she's putting stuff in her bag and stuff, I'm not taking anything. I still have not taken nothing yet. She started to put bigger stuff in her purse, like slip a top in her purse and stuff like that. And like she would wear a big hoodie and like go in a dressing room, and then she would put clothes on under, like clothes from the store that she didn't pay for underneath, try it on, put the hoodie back over it, take the tags off, and walk out. And she was doing stuff like that, right? So I'm really just using this day, if I'm being honest with y'all, I'm using this day to kind of study what she's doing, because like I said, I was impressed by it. I was impressed at the time. At that age, I was impressed. I'm like, ooh, I be needing clothes, I be needing stuff, and this would help me save money. Like, no shade, this will help me save money. So I'm trying to watch the way she's doing it. I'm like, this bitch got a technique. The time that I actually decided to participate was a time that we went, I think it was at Walmart, Target, one of those stores. It had to be one of those stores where, you know, the dressing rooms weren't really catered to. Like, y'all know those stores, and I'm not giving y'all no technique. I'm just saying there's some stores where they will literally like walk you back to the dressing room, and they'll like wait for you, and you can have only so many things in the dressing room, and stores like that. And then there's stores where you could just like, they're open and you just go in there and you just do your thing. And we was in one of them stores. So the first day that I ended up doing something with her, she ended up taking like a big like camera. I don't think it was Fuji cam or Fuji film. I don't think that was out yet. I don't really know, but it was a camera like that. And it was like one of those like little film cameras. She ended up taking one of those. That had to have been like $50, and this girl just put it in her bag. Like, she even might have had a book bag, because like we would be coming from school, and she had a book bag on still, and we went to Walmart or whatever. She put a big old camera in her book bag, and I'm just looking at her like, if you can take that, I can take a little tank top, I can take a little top, a little shorts, a little, you know what I'm saying, a little something. So I end up going and taking like a t-shirt. It had to have been like a graphic tee from the men's section, little $8 t-shirt, something like that. And I took it to the dressing room. I put it under my hoodie. And y'all, I probably put like a few shirts up under my hoodie and then put the hoodie back on. And that was it. Like, we didn't get in trouble. We didn't get stopped. We didn't get looked at no type of way. So I'm just like, okay, like, yo, I don't know, that hyped my head up. Like, even though it wasn't nothing that, like, nothing for real that I took, again, don't take nothing, but it wasn't even like no big nothing that I took. Like, she walked out of there with some real items for real, and I walked out of there with like two $8 t-shirts. But it still was like, okay, that was that like sign that, like, you know, I could do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always have friends that, and after this moment, y'all, you would have thought I learned my lesson with this whole situation, but I didn't. Like, y'all know there was an era where people were taking like, they would take a little tag from something like bubble gum or something and put it on something that's a little more like a little makeup item or whatever, skin. Like, we was just
bad.
Before the big situation happens, I'm gonna tell y'all about the shit that had me really like starting to get hesitant with what we was doing. Like, I was not messing with it at this point. So we had to have gone to, I don't know, maybe Walmart again, Target, something, TJ Maxx, one of them type of stores. But I know it was a store that had earbuds, right? So we end up going, and she's like, I don't even think I want nothing out of here. I just want to like look. Like, we still did window shop and like hang out normally, besides, you know what I'm saying, going and seeing what we could get for a discount. But she was like telling me that she wasn't finna take nothing up out of the store we was about to go in. Like, we started talking about if we wanted to, you know, go to this store just to look, or like, you know, we started communicating what we were doing for real. So she ended up telling me like, oh, I want to go in this store, but I just want us to look for it. Like, I'm not going in there to take nothing, or like, I don't want nothing out of there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I have a sense of reassurance that I don't have to worry about you doing nothing, right? Okay, so we go in the store or whatever, and I'm looking, I had to have been smelling candles or looking at lip gloss, I don't know, I was looking at something, and she ended up telling me she was gonna go look at the headphones, right? She ends up coming back to me, and she doesn't have a sense of urgency of like, let's leave, or nothing like that. She just kind of like, they don't got nothing in here for real, like, this store is trash, let's go. And I'm like, okay, because there really wasn't nothing in there for real. Like, there was nothing I wanted in there. So I'm like, okay, you know how people be like, oh, there's nothing in here, let's go to another store. It was very casual, very calm, cool, collected. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we walk in, and she gets stopped by one of the employees or whatever. And they're just like, oh, like, I don't know. And this was like the sweetest employee I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if they were like, they saw that she was young and they were like trying to be nice, or if they really were naive, I don't know. But she was just like,
oh, I don't know if you accidentally like put those earbuds in your bag. Like maybe you were like putting them somewhere so that you could keep browsing, but you never took them out or whatever. So if you want them, like, can you come to checkout and pay for them, or can you give them to me?
And Cindy Lou, she didn't like blink, y'all. That did not make her blink. That did not faze her at all. She was just like,
oh, like, you're right, I did put them in here, like, to hold them because I didn't know if I really wanted them or not, and I was gonna keep looking at stuff, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
and she was like, I don't want them though. And then she gave them to the lady, and then we walked out. My heart was in my butt, like literally. I'm like, I got out of there and I was like, girl, look there, like, maybe we should chill. Maybe we should chill. I was like, I thought that you said you didn't want nothing out of here. And she was like,
Well, I saw that they had some earbuds, and my earbuds are trash, and I'm not about to pay $30, or I'm not about to buy no new Apple headphones, so I just wanted to get some real quick to hold me over or whatever.
and I was like, okay, well, girl, next time if you know that you finna do that, like, at least let me know, because bitch, what the fuck? Like, that shit took me off guard. And she was like, all right, my bad, girl. Like, it's nothing though. Like, I told you, they don't be giving up in this plaza. Like, they don't care. And I'm like, girl, you can't speak for the whole plaza just because this lady is telling you, like, basically give me the back or pay for it. Like, girl, you don't know how somebody else in this plaza might react. Give it another week. I ended up like hanging with my other homegirls, and you know what I'm saying, I'm doing other things or whatever, and then she ends up hitting me up probably another weekend, and she's like, you want to hit Target with me? And this plaza had like a Forever 21, a Route 21. It had a bunch of stores. So I was like, yeah, girl, we can, because there was something that I did want to buy. Like I think this was my jogger era. I probably wanted some new joggers or something. I really don't know specifically what, but I was planning on buying something. Like, I had got paid, so I was planning on buying something, right? So we hit like Route 21 first. I ended up buying joggers, let's just say joggers for the sake of the video, joggers, beanies, or whatever. I ended up pretty much spending my whole check in Route 21, y'all. I was Route 21 down, like that was my store. So I ended up spending my check in there, right? So at this point, we're continuing to go to stores, and I no longer have money. Like, I done spent my whole check. I'm not being exaggerative. I literally didn't have any money left to my name, not a dime. So we end up going to another store. We go to Target or whatever. She's doing her thing. Like, she probably, I think her technique was to like purchase one thing, but then like go in the dressing room and do whatever with other things, like so that she didn't look too suspicious. But yeah, she was still doing her thing. Like, I even offered her, I was like, girl, I could buy you something like before I spent my whole check. She was like, no, girl, I don't want you to buy me nothing. Like, I got this. And I'm like, oh, okay, girl. So yeah, we in Target. She's going in the dressing room. She's doing her thing or whatever. I don't take nothing out of there or nothing like that, right? We go to Forever 21. In Forever 21, there was a boy that went to our high school, and I'm in 9th grade at this point. He probably was in 11th grade, 12th grade, one of those. And like I said, y'all, I done told y'all about multiple crushes I had in 9th grade, 10th grade. He was one of them, and he was an upperclassman. I don't remember his name or nothing like that, but he worked in Forever 21. I know that there was a boy that worked there that went to our school, and then I think there was a boy that worked there that didn't go to our school that was even older than him, that I like had a crush on every time I came to Forever 21, and I would see him talking to the boy that we did know that went to our school. I think that's what it was. I don't think the boy that I had a crush on went to our school, but they were always in the Forever 21 whenever we would go in there, right? So when me and Cindy Lou went to Forever 21, mind you, we've been to Forever 21 to browse and stuff like that, but we've never until this day like took something out of there. You get what I'm saying? Like, we never together, mind you, came to like a common agreement that Forever 21 just wasn't the store to do that in. Like, it just wasn't. I don't know how y'all's Forever 21s be set up, but the Forever 21 that we were at, the way that they handled the dressing rooms was how I said earlier, strict as you couldn't bring like more than 3 items in that dressing room. Like, it just wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't think that we were going in there to take anything. So we're browsing or whatever, we're just looking around at stuff, and we're in like the clothing section, and we're like against the shelves, and the boy that I had a crush on was there. He was just like on the other side of the store or whatever, and I'm just like looking around at stuff, talking to her, whatever. So I end up seeing this, I don't know if it was a shirt or like a what is it called, like a one piece, like a, what do they call, jumpsuit or a hoodie, I don't know what it was, but I ended up seeing something in there that I wanted so bad, y'all. Like, I fell in love with it. I'm like, y'all, like, I needed that. And again, I should have waited. I should have like hid it, if anything, because there was no layaway at no Forever 21. I could have hid that thing. I could have, you know what I'm saying? I didn't need it that bad. But like, when I saw that, I needed it. I'm telling her, I'm like, Cindy Lou, this is so cute. Like, girl, like I need this, and she's like, girl, I seen something over there that I want, like if you down, I'm down. She's basically saying like, if you want to take that, I'm gonna take, because she was like, I already took something. And I'm like, oh, bitch, what you mean you already took something? I thought we said this wasn't the store for that. She's like, well, yeah, I don't really usually take from this store, so like, you know what I'm saying, like it's not one that I really suggest. But she was like, I have before and I never got in trouble. She was like, we just got to be careful. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, what do you have? And she was like, oh, I just go, like, she was like, I put my body up against the shelves and I just slip something under my shirt and like I kind of put it in my pants or whatever. Like, I'm like, okay. Like, I think she took like some leggings or something, so it was easy for her to do that. So I'm like, okay. And what I wanted, y'all, it wasn't the hugest thing ever, but it was a little more bulky than what she took. So I'm just trying to think like, how am I gonna do this? I did have my purse. So y'all, so stupid, I ended up like pushing myself, like I ended up rolling it up. Like I rolled it up really, really, really tight, whatever it was. Let's say it's a shirt. I rolled it up. Let me just grab something. Like, I rolled it up really tight, right? And I folded it up like this small or whatever. It's probably smaller than this. And I ended up like looking around at the shelves. Like I put my body so much against the racks that I felt like the cameras couldn't see me or whatever. Like, how can you see what I'm doing in my body if I'm so against the racks, right?
Wrong.
So I end up putting it in my purse, and like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in the clear. And I'm like, I started getting hot and nervous. I don't know, that probably wasn't my intuition. I probably just knew that she was dumb as fuck for real. And it was probably blatantly like obvious to what I was doing, and I probably could notice that, and I probably felt that. So I was just like, okay, girl, like, let's go. Like, let's go. Like, I'm like, no, like, I'm nervous now. I don't know who saw that. I don't know. I'm looking around. The boy that I have a crush on that's in the store, he's not looking at me. I'm like, okay, we're good, right? So we end up like starting to walk out the store, but like, it's a long walk. Like I said, I was against the racks. I was in the back of the store. So we have to make that journey to the front of the store first before we can walk out the store. So we don't end up passing the dressing room. We end up like doing a rendezvous or whatever around the dressing room and going straight, like just straight towards the door. Like my focus is on the door. I'm like,
please.
I'm like praying, y'all. I'm like walking and I'm like, please, please, please. And I'm just like, yeah, it was just something gave me a bad feeling about it. And what I took, like, what it was probably like a $30 item. Like, y'all know Forever 21 prices can be up there. So I'm like, even though that's not like, it was expensive to me. Like, that was like probably the most expensive thing I ever took at that point. So I'm like, so I'm walking or whatever, and all of a sudden I see the boy that I have a crush on, literally, Appiana. How are you gonna know? And he knew I had a crush on him too, y'all. He literally knew I had a crush. How you know I got a crush on you and you be talking to my homeboy that go to this school that work here, y'all, like, you be flirting with me on the low sometimes, but you over here snitching on me, like, what is wrong with you? But anyways, he loved his job. He didn't want to lose his job that day. So he ends up kind of like pointing at me and Cindy Lou, and he's like talking to his manager. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're fucked. We're done. When I see that, I tell Cindy Lou, I'm like, they're talking about us. Let's walk. So we start walking fast, and then all I hear, y'all, is,
excuse me.
And we turn around, and it's the lady. It's like the manager lady. And I've seen this lady here plenty of times before. She's not very kind. And I'm like, oh, great. So she's just like, I
saw what y'all did, and I'm gonna need you guys to give everything back and come to the back.
Like, come to, I guess they had like a back room in there or whatever. Like how Walmart got that back room. They had like a, I don't know, a manager's office. I don't know. But they're like, I need y'all to come to the back or whatever. She just like, so y'all want to tell me what y'all did before I pull the cameras and show y'all what y'all did? And immediately, y'all, Cindy Lou starts talking, and she's like,
I really don't know what you're talking about. Like, I really don't know what you're saying that I did, what you think that I did.
And I'm just like, looking at her, and I'm like, girl, I think honesty might just be the best policy, because we did take stuff and we're on the camera. So, like, let's not have attitude. Like, she was saying it with an attitude, right? So the manager lady, she's just like,
first of all, I know that you know that we've seen you doing this here before, and we said something to you before, and we definitely told you not to come back. So I don't know why you thought coming back here with a new friend was gonna be like slick or whatever.
But she was like,
I really could call the police right now, so I really like don't need no lip from you.
Basically, she really just clocked her shit. And now I'm mad, because it's like, boo, you knew, like, yeah, you told me, you ended up telling me that you've taken from here before and didn't get in trouble, but you didn't tell me that you got caught and that somebody has said something to you here before. That's not what you mentioned to me. And if that was the case, why would you tell me to take something and that it was cool and that you would do it too? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I am the mastermind of my own actions. Like, I can only control me. But it's like, you reassured that you've done it at this store before without mentioning that they've seen you or like said something to you before. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I'm upset about. I'm not upset like, oh, you let me, like, no, I'm my own person. But it would have been nice to know that information that they've said, like, you know, that they caught you here before, because now they're looking at you more carefully and you're not even supposed to be here. You get what I'm saying? She starts going back and forth with the lady, and the lady keeps saying like, okay, do you want me to just go ahead and call the police? You want me to just go ahead and call the police? And then she ends up pulling the footage, and you can't really see me put anything in anything, but you can see that I'm like obviously doing something abnormal. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point they could just ask me to see my bag, and then they would find it in my bag. So I ended up just being like, you know what, I'm sorry, like I can return it, or I can call my mama and get some money and I can buy it. And she's just like, you know what, I like you. And it was so childish, y'all. It was so funny. But she was like,
I like you. Like, you know how to be respectful. Like, I don't like what you're doing, and clearly you shouldn't be hanging out with her, but I like that you're being honest. So give it, cough it up.
and she was like,
And you can just not come back to this store.
and then she turned to her and she was like,
Like, do you want me to call the police on you?
and I ended up interjecting, and I was like, girl, just give her the stuff. And then she was just like, okay, you know what, you're right. She returned it or whatever, and she was like, if you come back to this store, even like, she was like, I should trespass you. I don't know if she did trespass her. I don't remember. I don't know if she was old enough to get trespassed. I don't really know the details, but she was just like,
You better not let me see you over here, because you're gonna get arrested.
and to me it was more like a blank, like, don't come back here. But y'all, I came back to that store plenty of times after that situation. But yeah, so I'm mad at her, but I didn't end up falling out with her about the principle of the situation. Like, yeah, I was bothered that she never let me know that they've said something to her, but I didn't cut her off after that. It was just kind of like a thing that I was bothered. But she ended up distancing herself from me after this day. That's the thing that never made sense to me. So we end up going to school, right? I'm just gonna fast forward to maybe 2 weeks later, or no, maybe like a week later. We end up going to school, and she ends up like not talking to me for real, right? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if she's embarrassed, if she feel like maybe like that took her swag, like that took her aura or whatever, but maybe she just not f***ing with it. Like, I don't know, like I'm gonna just give her space because that was a, you know, stressful situation. I don't really know, but I didn't talk about her. I wasn't posting about her on my spam. I wasn't talking shit about her. I wasn't trying to beef with her, nothing like that. I didn't even tell nobody what happened, because like that's not nothing to really tell nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was our business for real. I didn't tell nobody what happened. But she did. Sometime in the school day, somebody ends up bringing to my attention a spam post that, oh, Cindy Lou posted something on her spam about me. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And I think that at this point I told my homegirl, because she probably asked me like, why are you and Cindy Lou not talking? And then I kind of like just passively told her like, oh, we was shopping, and like, you know, we were dilly-dallying, 5-finger discounting, and got caught up. So like, I don't know, maybe she feels some type of way, I don't really know. And she's just like, oh, okay, cool. So I think that's the friend that ended up telling me that she feels like she's posting about me on her spam. And so I go and I look at her spam through her page, because I don't think I even followed her on her spam. I ended up looking at the post, and she ended up posting something along the lines of like,
these ghetto chicks be having me
or like, it was something like, it wasn't like fighting words like have me up like that. It was like have her up in like a bad situation type of way. Like, it was like, or it was like
hanging with the wrong type of chicks will get you in the wrong type of situations
or something like that. Immediately my eyebrows started doing that thing. Like, I started furrowing my eyebrows started twitching. I started like malfunctioning, because now I'm like, why do you have to make weird? Like, we both know that you were doing this before me. You were suggesting I come with you, and now all of a sudden you get caught up, and I just so happen to be there. Now you're blaming me and trying to kick it to the net, even though nobody even supposed to know about this for real. You're trying to kick it like I influenced you to do some that you weren't trying to do. Of course I confronted her. Like, what do y'all think that I was gonna do? I ended up going and finding her. I don't know if she was it was lunch that I found her. I really don't know, and I really don't care, y'all. This is starting to piss me off. But I ended up finding her, and I was just like, why are you posting trying to make it seem like I forced you to do something that you didn't want to do? Like, I confronted her not on some like, oh, I saw what you posted, like square up. Like, no, it was literally just like, why I confronted her. Literally, that's all it was. I was like, why did I see that you're posting on your spam that hanging around the wrong type of people have you doing shit that you're not used to doing? Like, why are you trying to kick it like I influence you to do some shit? Like, are you for real? Are you dead ass? Are you for real? And she was just like, y'all know that gaslighting shit that them scary bitches be doing when you confront them at school. And she's just like,
what are you talking about? Like, that was not about you. Like, that post was not about you.
And I was like, okay, so immediately after we get caught up in that situation, you end up distancing yourself from me randomly as if it was my fault. And then you end up posting on your spam about how ghetto bitches or the wrong type of bitches will have you getting into fucked up situations. What else are you talking about, boo? What else are you talking about? We're friends, right? If you're not talking about me, then that means that we still cool. So what are you talking about then? Let me know. And she's just kind of like, oh, well, it's none of your business. Like, and she's like stuttering and shit. Like, and she don't stutter, boo. Like, I know with a stutter, and that's not what it was. She was like,
I mean, like, to be honest, I don't know why you worry. Like, why are you worried about it like that? Like, really, that's not really none of your business. Like, girl, like.
And bitch, I'm like, I wanted to slap the shit out of her because, like, now you're playing in my face and you're lying. But I'm like, girl, if you felt some type of way about the situation, you could just let me know. Like, you don't have to be weird. You don't have to take shit to the internet. You don't have to take shit to your spam. Like, why do you feel like I dragged you into a situation when you quite literally were doing this before me and bragging about it to me in the lunch table before we even started going? So, like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, that you supposed to be my friend. Like, what? It ends up getting a little heated, and we end up getting, like walking away. The bell rings or something. Like, something ends up separating us. It's not people, because it's not that heated, but we end up separating, right? Why the am I in my debate class and I get pulled out of my debate class to go to the office to do a peer, or to go to the counselor's office to do a peer mediation with this girl?
I'm still whooping ass. I don't give a fuck.
Why did you go to the counselor or to whoever you went to, teacher, whoever who went to the counselor, to tell them that I was trying to start beef with you and confronted you and that you felt like I wanted to fight you and that I'm harassing you, basically, off of one confrontation, boo? Like, I confronted you one time. And we're friends. Like, what? Like, what? So I'm like, and y'all know this is not my first peer mediation. Like, them hoes love the peer mediation room. They love the room. They loved it. So I'm like, what the? So I go in there, right? Counselors already know me, y'all. Like, I literally used to go in the counselor's office and sit with the counselors and talk about the students in my free periods. I had a counselor that was buying me American Deli for lunch. Like, with the teachers, I might have not been the best behavioral wise, but the real teachers, they with me, like, regardless. So I'm in there, I'm like, Miss, I don't even want to say her name. It was Miss Johnson. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I'm like, Miss Johnson, why am I in here with this girl? Why? And she's like, Chesa, just sit down. Like, she said that you came at her today at lunch and we just wanted to just make sure it was settled and it wasn't gonna be no fighting or anything like that. And I'm like, girl, first of all, why would I fight this girl? I'm like, and then I turned to Cindy Lou, and we're not supposed to talk to each other during the peer mediation. It's supposed to be we talk through the lady, or like when the lady says we can talk to each other, we can't. It's like, y'all, if you ever had a peer mediation, you know. So, and it's like, I'm at the end of this table, and it's like a long table. I'm at the end of it. She's at the other end of it, and the lady is like sitting like right here or right here. So I'm like, and I stopped talking to Ms. Johnson, and I'm like, Cindy Lou, why are you doing all of this? Like, you literally, you know what happened, and you know I didn't influence nothing. You know I didn't drag you into nothing. You know I didn't make you do nothing. So why are you posting about me? And then now you're throwing rocks and hiding your hands. Why are you telling this lady I'm harassing you when you made a post about me? And then she starts gaslighting me, and then turns to the counselor, and she's like,
I didn't post about her. She's saying this post was about her, but it wasn't even about her. I was posting about something completely different. She's assuming it's about her.
And then, of course, Miss Johnson's trying to be a peer mediator, and she's like, Chesa, is there any, like, way that she could have just been posting about somebody else? Like, it could have been a coincidence. And I'm like, no, this started being weird to me immediately after. And, like, I was hearing little things like, y'all, she was literally telling people that, like, I was trying to impress the boy that worked at Forever 21 that I had a crush on, because of course she was my homegirl. She knew I had a crush on him too. So she's like telling people, like, I heard little stuff after she started being weird to me, but I did not care. That's how y'all know when I tell y'all that I wasn't just looking out for a fight. I really wasn't. But like, now you're posting, like, I was hearing stuff and I knew some of it to be true because I didn't tell nobody about it but like one of my friends, for real. So yeah, some of it could have just been he say, she say, but I didn't care. I didn't confront you off of the shit that I was hearing. I confronted you off the shit that I seen on your page. So, like, she's over here just lying her ass off like the post wasn't about me. And I'm just like, I really can't say nothing but that I just know it's about me. And I'm just like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna come to a conclusion with now? Because I'm not with this. Like, I'm just not. So she ends up getting a cease and desist on me. I used to call it cease. I'm just gonna say cease. She got a cease and desist on me that day, like the Miss Johnson ended up saying like, well, Chesa, just sign this saying that you're gonna leave her alone and not speak to her anymore. Like, y'all, I had this little girl shook off of one confrontation. Boo, you should have never posted about me then. Like, what? So I'm pissed off at this point, and I'm like, I'm not no bully. So I'm like, you know, I'm not even gonna say nothing to this girl. I really don't give a. And it's like, I know her in real life, like we were friends. Like, she's not scary to the point of like, if somebody swings at her, she's not gonna hit back. Like, I literally went with this girl to fight another girl, like one of her little friends or whatever that looked just like her. She went to go fight her, and she had like these brass knuckles on, and she got her ass beat. I ain't gonna lie. She wasn't the scary type of like, I won't fight, but like, she knew she didn't want to fight me. So I don't even know why she was antagonizing me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? I know that I would mop the floor with this girl, and it was messy shit that she was doing, and it was making me upset, but it wasn't like enough for me to really just hit her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, whatever. Cease and desist. They told me if I said something else to her, like confrontationally, then I would get expelled. I don't know if it was arrested or expelled, but they just basically said that I have to leave this girl alone. So I was like, all right, I'll leave this girl alone as long as she leave me alone.
Amen.
Probably like a couple days later, y'all, I ended up riding this girl's bus. Now, y'all are probably like, Chesa, you got on that girl bus on purpose. You wanted it. No, I got on this girl's bus because I was going home with my homegirl that lived in the same neighborhood as her. She lived in this neighborhood that hella people lived in. Like, it was a popular ass neighborhood. Mind you, I didn't even say, once we went from that school that she was already at, like once my school went to that school she was at in middle school, that middle school still got transferred to the nearby high school to them, like the one that's on Whoville side. And then my people ended up still going to the high school we were originally going to go to on the other side of town, not in Whoville. But Cindy Lou's house was like in the middle. She ended up going to the school with us. She didn't end up going to the Whoville school. So that's just how she ended up there. But anyways, so I ended up riding the bus, right? I'm at the back of the bus. I'm sitting with my homegirl, and Cindy Lou is like a couple seats ahead of me, and she's sitting by this boy. I don't know, it wasn't the boy that I met when I met her that was like for the girls, but it was another boy that was for the girls. And he was one of those, like, y'all know them, just them messy people in school where you're not necessarily friends, but you're not like beefing either, but they're messy, so they might try to antagonize between you and somebody you got beef with just because they love the drama. Like, you know, they're being funny and you know how they are, so you're not like mad at them, but you're just kind of like, stop being messy, like just stop. Like, it's like one of those things. So he ends up talking to Cindy Lou on the bus, and he's just like, Cindy Lou, why you don't go sit with your bestie? Like, talking about me. And I immediately told him, I was like, stop. I was like, leave her alone. It wasn't on some like I was trying to like and like defend her because we were once friends. It was literally like, leave her alone, because I don't want to have to start talking to her and get in trouble, because y'all already know I might have been, you know, but I'm not finna do that in school. And like, I would have had my mama up if I would have got expelled from school. That would have been the last thing that I did. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave this girl alone. Like, so I'm like, leave her alone. Y'all already know. And obviously word got around that she got a cease and desist on me, so he knew about it. He was just being a messy boots. So he's just like, oh, y'all not friends? Like, he knew. He was just taunting her and taunting me for real. Like, he wasn't even directing it at her for real. He was just messing with us, trying to instigate some shit, hoping that we start arguing, right? So I ended up not saying nothing to her. I'm just like, shut up, like, shut up. We all just like, shut up, boo, like, shut up, you're being messy. So she ends up saying to him something under her breath, like, he's just like,
why were you stealing? He was like, why was you stealing, Cindy? Like, Cindy, you know better. Like, why was you stealing, Cindy?
And Cindy said something. She's like, I was just there for real. And Chesa, she just wanted to impress that little boy she liked or whatever. She said something like that. Not the way I worded it. She said it how she talks. She was like, I was just there for real. Like, that has nothing to do with me. She was just trying to impress the boy that she likes, or whatever. And I heard her, but I wasn't stunning that. I was like, I'm not gonna let her win. Like, I'm not gonna let her get the reaction out of me that she clearly won't. And obviously she's only saying this because somebody is like in her face trying to embarrass her. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna let her have it. I really don't care. I know what's tea. Everybody know what's tea. I was not getting clowned, y'all. Everybody knew that she was bragging about that stuff. And like, once the shit was around like our grade or whatever, nobody gave a fuck. Like, we was not the only ones going in stores and taking stuff without buying it. We literally were not. Like, what? Girl, didn't nobody give a fuck. It was just the principle of you trying to make it seem like I dragged you into some hood shit. Like, you try to make it seem like I was a bad influence on you, and I didn't with that because you are the one who was doing it first. That's why I cared. That's why I was bothered. I didn't care that people knew, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. So he's just bothering her about it or whatever, and then later on, like towards the end of the bus ride, when she's about to get off the bus, he ends up saying like,
ooh, but not y'all was about to be in jail though. Not y'all was finna go to jail. Not Cindy Lou in jail.
like trying to play like she wouldn't have, like, you know what I'm saying, lasted in jail or whatever, even though it would have been freaking juvenile and we would have got out the next day probably. But she ends up standing up like to get off the bus, and she said something like, well, look at me, I would have got out.
What do you mean by that?
Or something like that. Like basically trying to imply that we look like two different people, and based off of how she looks, she would have just got a slap on the wrist and I would have like gotten into more trouble or whatever, which unfortunately may have been true. But it's just the principle, like, why, what do you mean by that, bitch? I stood up, of course, and I start yelling at her. Even I forgot about that cease and desist immediately. I'm like,
what the, you're so weird. What the do you mean by that? What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you would got out? What do you mean?
so I'm yelling at her, whatever, and obviously there's people in between us, and nobody's letting me get to her. She's not trying to get to me, so nothing ends up transpiring after that. I'm just yelling at her until her literal bus stop, y'all. So I end up telling my homegirl that I'm getting off the bus with. I don't even think it was the same bus stop, because I'm pretty sure I told her, I was like, we're getting off at her stop.
Like, we're getting off at her stop.
I don't care. Mind y'all, I told y'all that I was gonna make a story time about this girl that I almost beat the up, that also got a cease and desist on me for saying the N-word. That story time is even crazier and juicier than this one, but just keep in mind they ended up being friends. So that, if that gives y'all the kind of vibe that I was feeling, like I was feeling super triggered, things like that triggered me. Y'all already know at my job at the time in high school, I was experiencing like people not treating me fairly and stuff like that. I was experiencing that type of stuff already, so I did not play that and she knew that. And for you to be my friend and for you to say something like that when I didn't think that was the type of that you was, it's crazy. So I'm like, I start teeing up, and then she ends up getting off the bus, right? I tell my homegirl we're getting off at her stop, and I wait till like the last person, like I said, it was a lot of people that lived in her neighborhood. I wait till like the last person on the bus for that stop get off so that she wouldn't see me get off. And this bus driver didn't give up at all. So we ended up, me and my homegirl, getting off at her stop, and we're just walking. We're walking behind like 4 students that's behind her. She's walking, she thinks she's scot-free. She thinks she's going home, like, you know what I'm saying, without no issue. So yeah, I end up walking, like me and my homegirl, I'm like, don't say nothing to her, don't touch her. I need to handle her. Like, I need to talk to her before we go to your house. So she's like, all right, cool. We weren't on no jumping stuff. Like, I wasn't even trying to fight her necessarily. I just wanted to get her to say what the fuck she just said again. So I'm walking or whatever, and then as more people are like turning to their houses or whatever, it's obvious I'm behind her, so I'm not even like quiet anymore. So I'm like,
Cindy!
And she turns around, I'm like,
Cindy, say that again. What did you mean? I want you to explain what you meant by that. What did you mean that you would get out and I wouldn't? What did you mean by that? And what is this pressure?
Like, I just start like yapping at this point, and like, y'all, I don't really care to do all that talking, but it's like, bitch, we were just friends, and this whole situation is weird. Like, how do you go from, I'm like, how do you go from being my friend, telling me to come do these hooligan shit with you, we do the hooligan shit, we get caught up, then you blame me, you go to the internet saying that it was me, you go to your spam saying it was me, you having everybody, well, you tried to have everybody thinking that it was me, then you try to talk about what kind of I am, and low-key it's like a microaggression. You're trying to say like hanging out with a bitch like me will have you get into trouble, even though you was already doing it before me and you swore you was a pro, and then you end up not fucking with me no more, stop talking to me, and then post about me. And then when I confront you, you crying about it to the counselor, we do a peer mediation, you get a cease and desist on me, and then now you're still making comments. Like, imagine. I'm like, do you need that? Like, I know, you already know, we both already know that you will get handled. Like, I will treat you if we fight. So why are you even playing with me? Why are you antagonizing me? Why? And it was giving, she wanted me to touch her. She wanted me to fight her so that I would get expelled, or like on some evil, she wanted me to violate that cease and desist. She wanted me to. She was trying to get a reaction out of me at this point. So she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what? I don't know why you so mad. Like, why are you so mad? And I can't even, like, that's not how she said. She was like, I don't know why you're so mad. Like, why are you even so mad, Chesa? Like, I didn't even do anything to you. If I don't want to be friends with you anymore, you shouldn't be mad. And I'm like, I'm not mad that you're not my friend. Like, I'm not mad about you not wanting to be my friend no more. Just all of this isn't making sense, and you're messy, and you're being weird, and you're talking, and you're not owning up to the that you're talking. Like, what are you saying? And now you're saying weird about how I would go to jail and I would stay in and you would get out. Like, what are you trying to say? I still need you to explain that. What are you trying to say? And she's just like, I didn't even mean it like that. I didn't even mean it like that. So I run up on her. Like, I come up on her, and like, she does the weirdest shit. Like, she like speeds onto her property, right? Like, speeds onto her yard or whatever. Cause like I said, we was by her house at this point. And she's just like, I'm like, girl, like, come on. Like, it's time. Like, you need to run up. Like, you need to square up at this point. And she's just like, come to me. Come to me. And she's like getting closer and closer to her door at this point. Like, you're telling me to come to you. She's like backing up towards her door. She's like, come to me. Come on. Like, girl, why are you telling me come on and you're walking closer to your house? And y'all know that I'm not too shy to get on somebody's property or to run up on a yard or even run up in a big house. But it was the way she was doing it was weird. It was like she was luring me. Like, she knew to get me on that property to touch her. You get what I'm saying? Like, she was just giving police ass, giving like she want her daddy to come out with his deer hunting gun and pop me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was giving that. So my homegirl's like, Chesa, don't even, like, come on, like, let's go. Like, come on. It was such a weird vibe. Like, I felt like I was on Get Out. So I'm like, you're a weird, I'm like, if you think I give up about that season that says I don't, when I see you at school, I'm beating your ass. So y'all, I ended up going home, or I ended up going to my homegirl's house or whatever, and like I ended up calling my mama. I'm cussing, I'm pissed, I'm yelling. I'm like, this just trying to be weird to me. Like, she's trying to like antagonize me on some weird and my mom is like, Chesa, if you fight that girl at school, you get expelled. I don't give a what she said to you. If you fight her at school and get expelled, that's your ass. And y'all, some of y'all might not agree with that. Like, I don't know, I don't agree with that. If it was my child and she was being I won't even say like picked on in that sense, because you can't pick on me, but you know what I'm saying. Like, now you're almost like trying to be weird in a different way. Like, you know, like, I don't know, I'm not letting my child go for no stuff like that. Like, if you have to whoop her at school, you might just have to whoop her at school, boo. You might just have to. I don't know, maybe I'll feel different when I have a child. Like, I'm kind of glad my mama didn't let me, because if I would have got expelled, then what? You know what I'm saying? I could have maybe not ended up here on this channel, on this YouTube. So I love my mama, and shout outs to my mama, but like, my mom wasn't going for it. She was like, if you want to fight her, then, you know what I'm saying? She basically was like, if she agrees to fight you at the park or something like that, if you got to handle it, whatever. But like, I don't want to hear nothing about you getting into no trouble with no law or no school. So y'all, I ended up going to school, and I ended up leaving that girl alone. But I told her, I was like, if you say something else to me, if you even so much as try me again in this school, bitch, I'm beating your ass. And of course she didn't. Of course she didn't. Y'all want to know the crazy part about it is, fast forward to like 12th grade, I ended up being cool with her, like semi cool with her again, because we was in like another class together. She ended up apologizing or whatever and saying how it was ignorant of her and all this stuff. And we wasn't real friends. Like, we never hung out after that again, or like went nowhere or anything like that. But we would like talk at lunch and stuff like that, until the day that she was referring to Marcus. Like, they were still dating at this point. She was referring to Marcus one day, and she was like, she called her, she was like, yeah, and like, I was mad because that nigga, and she slipped up and said that. And that was the end of our even like school's friendship at that point. I kind of like looked at her. She knew how I felt about that. And I didn't put hands on her, because again, it was just the whole situation with her just was like, it was just murky waters. And it was my last year of high school. I was like, yo, no, I'm not gonna hit this girl because she feel like she could say something that she shouldn't be saying. But I told her, I was like, say that around me again and I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. And then I just walked away from her, and I didn't talk to her again after that. And y'all, the crazy part about it is, like, after graduation and stuff, I'm pretty sure she didn't even graduate. And if she did graduate, she ended up like getting into like the same stuff that she was on, but worse. Like, she ended up getting into trouble with the law, sneaking boys in her house against her dad. I don't even know how to put it. Like, you know, everybody goes through different things, and like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even judging her on that. I'm just saying it's just ironic that you were trying to kick it, like hanging with me had you in bad situations, but you ended up in bad situations nonetheless. Like, you ended up in your own bad situations hanging out with whoever the fuck. That's the end of this video, y'all. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Comment other videos that you guys want to see from me. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss when I post a video. Follow me on all my social medias that are in the link tree in the description box below. Also, you guys, follow me on Instagram. It's ChesaTheBrat. I will be posting the sneak peeks and the behind the scenes. Follow me on TikTok at ChesaTheBrat, even though I don't know how long that's gonna even matter. I don't know, but follow me on there for now. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for your patience, and I will be dropping another juicy story time very soon. I love you guys so much. Bye.
ChesaTheBrat, ChesaTheBrat.